Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow, take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Welcome to Saturday. Don't really usually do the Friday stream from here, but I figured it was easy. I'm out. There's a taco thing, truck right over there that's going to be open 24/7. So I'm going to go right over there, and I won't have this whole food shortage shit that I've been having. You know, when I get to the house, everything's closed. So decided to just go ahead and do the stream here. It's going to be quick and painless. We're just going to lay out the plans for the weekend for the most part as they are. But before we get to that, we have to pay tribute to our sponsors for the week. And they are Warner Brothers Pictures and Beetlejuice in theaters next Friday. If you are local and you have been following all of our social media, you know what you need to do. If you want to be at a special advance screening on September 3rd, Tuesday, September 3rd, AMC Town Square, just keep paying attention. I'll be picking winners starting tomorrow and all throughout the weekend. You and a guest will know whether you're going or not by the end of the weekend. Beetlejuice 2, The Ghost with the Most, makes his return after 36 years, I think. And Michael Keaton, the whole gang's back. Most of the gang is back. And it is in theaters next Saturday, September 6th, the day before my birthday. How are you doing, Brad? You're muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Yes, we're just coming from the Vodka stream. It was actually my first ever stream with Enosh. So that was definitely a great meeting him. And of course, we had all kinds of talk about the usual stuff there. And yes, as William said, we are partly tonight. We're laying out our plans for this weekend as far as the watch parties as part of our charity drive, such which involves partly this franchise right here. And I got to tell you guys, it's like, I mean, I love our watch parties we do on Saturdays. I don't think I've been this excited for a watch party in quite a long time because I am such a Terminator fan. Terminator 2 is one of my all-time favorites, sci-fi and action. Probably my number one Schwarzenegger movie. Definitely, it's probably neck and neck for me with T2 and Aliens for like my favorite Cameron movies. So, yeah, I cannot wait for tomorrow.
Real quick though, I may not be able to do the Twitch stream. The internet here isn't good. I had to switch over while I was on the Vodka stream because it kept shutting me off, and we've been having an issue. They're here repairing it right now. Actually, no, they were repairing it today, but they got to do a lot. It's up and running right now, but it's not good enough for as long a stream. So what we might do is we might do an old-fashioned watch party
kind of thing. Yeah.
Where you guys will need to find your own, and we'll have to sync it up because I don't think I'm going to have the bandwidth tomorrow to do it. So just be advised, and I'll put that in the description when I set up the link. Yeah. I'll set up the link when I get to the house. But today, basically,
the upshot is we don't have to worry about getting the Twitch game pulled down because of naked dudes traveling through time. So
especially a full frontal one in the first one, even though it's only a couple of seconds.
So I know. Yeah, we know the part you're talking about. Yeah. And actually, also, and they probably clarify for everybody at home, because I think I know the answer to this before I even ask it. We are not doing the extended cut of T2, right?
I'm doing whatever cut I can find. I didn't realize.
Okay, well, because because there's the extended cut, that's like I think like 13 minutes longer. So it's not like a dramatic. That's the one where like has him like doing like try to mimic humans smiling, and the part where they take the chip out of his head. So it's not like it's not like it adds some cool stuff into it, but it's not like a dramatic difference.
Once I decide what versions, I'll put that in the description as well.
Okay. I think it's just the one version for the Terminator, but T2 has an extended cut.
Not, as you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan of extended cuts of a movie that's like this, but whatever one is available, because they're on my streaming services. I have every streaming service. I just got to find which one is.
I think T2 is on Netflix right now. I'll look them both up right now, see if they're on Netflix. If not, I would think they'd be like on Paramount Plus.
Terminator is on HBO Max, I think.
Yeah.
I think we all have HBO Max or whatever the fuck.
It should be HBO Max still. Yeah, T2 is on Netflix right now, so and then we just need to look up where the first one is. I got them both on streaming on my Amazon Prime. So
are they both on Amazon Prime?
No, I'm saying I bought them both on my Amazon account, so I could stream them from there too. So I have digital copies of both of them.
Wow, HBO Max has Terminator Salvation. That's a damn shame.
Yeah.
Shit movie.
Prime. Yeah, I got a hot take for everybody. It's like I actually do like Genesis. And so who else does? Ashley. We actually joke around. She and my friend Mike and I were like the 3 people in the Genesis fan club.
Probably the 3 people that saw it in the movie theater too.
Well, it made it.
Yeah, I can get it on Prime.
Oh no, it's the second biggest Terminator movie after T2. As far as like box office, it's the second biggest of the series.
A lot of people saw a shitty movie. Brashley, that's funny.
You guys will
coming on tomorrow?
I'm gonna text her and see if she wants to jump on the either one of the watch parties or the Saturday night show. So yeah, again, because I'm going to laugh in all your faces tomorrow if we were to get her on. I got Mike on the phone, so and he confirmed she exists, but you also doubt me.
Nobody doubted the existence of Mike. I don't think anybody seriously doubts the existence. Actually, all right, this is your forum, guys. It's gonna be about a good 40 some odd minutes, and I'm a bolt. I'm hungry.
Got you. How's it going, Vince? Playing Baldur's Gate 3. Awesome, man. Clint was in the chat during the Vodka stream. So Aaron, how's it going, Aaron? Aaron, thank you by the way for the shout out on KFK's Hall of Fame with Bren Foster, because I showed that on the show last night, and Aaron gave us a little bit of a plug there. So thank you very much for that, Aaron. Appreciate that very much. I'm starting to play Civilization again. Okay, awesome. How's it going, Music Man? Mr. Droga, what's up, William Brad? We're off to watch the new and hopefully better Crow movie I'm cosplaying. Yeah, I saw you put a couple pictures up with the Crow makeup. Yeah, I made the joke when I jumped on the box stream a little bit ago. It's like, yeah, I was on the previous week because that's when I was out seeing the Crow with Ashley. We didn't enjoy it, as you guys know, but again, hopefully you guys have some more fun with it. Let's see, yeah, Enosh. It was my first stream with Enosh, and William was first, and got at least a year and a half, probably, right?
No, he was on the Vodka stream about a few months ago.
Oh, so you both were? Okay, so that would have been one I wasn't on for. Most of the Yeah Gang is back. Okay. Yeah, it was good. Great to see him. Definitely much more potty mouth version of Enosh than I'm used to seeing whenever I was following him on the Point X, which that was actually how I first, before William and I connected, I'd seen him on Film, not the Vox stream, but even on the Patreon stream. That's where I first saw William, and then I started seeing him pop up regularly on the Point X Lounge, and I started following Enosh there. So that was before William and I met, but I knew of him, so I saw him on there quite a bit. So, okay, awesome. Raising Rad's Facebook, free Enosh, awesome, man. Taladia, I may be a little late to the movie night tomorrow, Brad, because Jared needs to. Okay, sounds good, man. But because I did put out a. In fact, let me go.
I come first. So, fuck Jared. I come first. You abandoned Jared. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I actually put out a little bit of an invite for everybody on social media because, like I said, I'm a massive fan of the first two Terminator movies. T2 is one of my all-time favorites. Again, sci-fi action, Schwarzenegger, Cameron. So I put a little bit of a invite, and this actually I was kind of piggybacking on. I don't know if you saw this, William, but Variety had this article that went out that said something to the effect of, due to like lack of competition or something, Deadpool and Wolverine is likely to top the box office again this weekend, and that ruffled all kinds of feathers. With the kind of the way they phrase it, I guess, is, put people off. But I kind of decided to piggyback off that a little bit.
Well, they're sort of right in regards to that kind of level.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh
you
yeah,
got
yeah.
some movies out there, but there's nothing to that level out there. It's not. I mean, yeah.
Well, and it's like what I've kind of been saying. It's like this year I've really been noticing that my theatrical attendance is probably like 1/3 at least lower than it was the previous summer, and that's a combination of factors between, again, we do the Saturday watch parties a lot now, and also just the changing, evolving theatrical landscape, and yeah, there's just been less stuff that's interested me in theaters this summer, so I really noticed that. But I put out a little bit of an invite to everybody saying, if you're tapped out in Deadpool Wolverine, you're staying this weekend at the Sci-Fi Center, have some pretty rad watch parties planned that all are welcome to join us for. You guys can, of course, guess what they are from that GIF. And Taladia asked if you want to join on the fun. I said, please come join us. Thank you. So, but yeah, if you and of course, we're doing it chronologically, so you can't make the Terminator, but you can only make T2. That's perfectly fine, man. Look forward to seeing you, man.
You got Aliens, you got Deadpool versus Wolverine, Alien Romulus, and once that's as far as like widely known films, that's it. I mean, it ends with Us. Blink Twice,
that's doing well too.
Crow, Twisters, yeah. So yeah, they are actually right.
Vince says, I live near the AMC. If you look close to AMC near me, I go more since I have a $20 monthly pass. But it's an hour drive. Yeah, that's how I have the AMC A-list membership too. So that's how I typically pay my tickets. You get 3 freebies a week on that. Although I'm annoyed because it's like they're doing like the re-release of the Batman this weekend. It's like, and the same thing would happen when they put all the Spider-Man movies over the course of the summer. They did like
Batman's going to do big because of the bucket.
Yeah, there's that. Well, and they I never seen to put any of those fancy. Well, I think they did it for Dune at my theater, but for whatever reason they tend not to at my theater because But it is what it is. But yeah, the Batman doesn't. Maybe they'll do that. When we come to Batman Day and they do the re-release of stuff around then. They put out. I was able to see the Dark Knight again. During Batman Day last September. So I get to do that this year. But I'm annoyed that because I was planning that when they did their, from like April into July, you're releasing each theatrical live action Spider-Man movie one by one on a weekly basis. I was going to do that, and they didn't put it out in my theater. It was like a very limited thing, and it just didn't reach my theater. It's like I was annoyed by that because I really wanted to do that. So, but yeah, we got Terminator this weekend. I'm really, really excited about these because we talked about it when we were leaving the Vodka stream because it did occur to us. It's like we've never done on a channel called the Sci-Fi Center. We have not done a watch party of any Terminator movies yet. We just started for the Terminator anime show. It's like we got to fix that. So
yeah, and like our watch parties are relatively within the last, relatively new.
Yeah. Well, it started, of course, as a result of the first Rebel Moon charity stream, and now it's a pretty regular feature of the show. So Terminator is definitely one to add to the docket. But of course, we still got other ones and other genres that are near and dear to my heart and Aaron's heart that I got screwed out of by Mother Nature a couple weeks ago. But don't worry, we're gonna rectify that in due course.
God said, you know what?
It's after the devil. Is okay. It's because good things come to those who wait. Mark my words, everybody. No, you can never do too many. See what and I brought the first one, with the Skyline movies did. I brought the first one that was the combo. They had the martial arts and the sci-fi and the aliens and all the weird elements. So it's like I was the one who bridged the genres here when I brought Skyline, and I brought the writer and director on for it. So you're welcome, Sci-Fi Center audience.
Music Man, yes, I did, and we are interviewing Tinkerbell.
Oh, really?
From Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare. I have an interview set up, so that will be hitting the channel pretty soon.
So you guys got it for us. Movie theaters this year are killing it, Brad. You can't miss out. What do you mean with with what's being released, or like how are they're bouncing back, or wait, what do you mean by that?
With buckets, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, buckets. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, that's a whole. That's actually a way I think that they're now their business model is evolving, because they get that with Deadpool. They have the Dune ones. They have the new Bat Signal.
Actually, you know what? I didn't realize I'd ever opened this. The fucking propeller is inside of here. I never really gave a shit about it. You hear it? That's the propeller that goes on top of here. Right there.
What and see, that's the thing, is they can. It doesn't have to be strictly for new releases too. It's like if they do like a wide re-release of something, they can do like custom buckets for that, and that's another way they can, like, as far as like theaters, we're developing a symbiosis in the streaming age coupled with evolving post-COVID. It's like that's one way they can. I think they're really going to bounce back and really adapt their business model, in the new kind of economic landscape they have. And again, as far as like doing like a wide re-release of like old things like the Terminator movies, I mean, it's like they probably do like a really good like Terminator skull bucket, out of that. So yeah,
or the arm. But the thing about the one for the Batman, it's not even a one from that movie.
yeah, that's weird to me. It's like it's not the bat. It's a kind of a general kind of bat signal.
Yeah. Which
So,
Rhea got me one. Thank you, Rhea, if you're in the chat.
yeah, Film Junkie said apparently Rhea said a few people.
Yeah, me, Phil.
Yeah, but not me. Rhea, what am I, chopped liver? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And my
she sent me this headset, so it's like
yeah,
I could never be not grateful to Rhea.
I've been looking to build a back signal for the top of my Batman section, and now I have one. I don't even have to do it. I can just put this on top of my Batman section. So I'm so happy.
Let's see what else you guys got for us. I'm still game for editing the videos while I'm Cypher Center, but my 1.2 TB a month bandwidth makes it hard for watch parties on T-Mobile internet.
Yeah, and I know I got a hotspot, but it starts to throttle you after a while, and I use it for the actual show itself. I mean, we there's a possibility we could be on the air for like 6 to 7 hours tomorrow, so I have to basically just use the basic internet. So the actual watch party itself is going to have to be each individual finding their way.
Let's see, which director's cuts. Well, I was talking to William about whether or not we watch Terminator 2 tomorrow, if it's going to be the theatrical cut or the extended cut, because there is an extended cut of it, which I think that adds.
I assume it's going to be the theatrical cut whenever I screen something, unless it's a special thing like a Rebel Moon or something like that. Where
if it's something that's adding like an hour back into it, or if it's like BBS or ZSJL, or if it's a Ridley Scott, I'd imagine. If it's something that like it. If it adds so much material back in where it's like it becomes almost like a vital component of the movie itself, where it's like tantamount to a new experience, then it's like, I think that makes it a necessity to do the director's cut.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I can see all kinds of like sick things coming out of that. So let's not do that.
Thoughts on the Superman movie? I just really have deliberately, for the most part, made it a non-topic on this show. Simply because I just don't have anything to report. I can't fake excitement about something that I'm just basically cautiously optimistic about. So I generally don't. Last night was one of the few times that we've brought it up on the show. It's one of the, I think, 3 total times that we've put it on a thumbnail. I'm just going to, I have nothing to go on. There's no ramping up of this movie for me as far as they're going. So I'm just going to basically, I am a DC fan. I will go see it, but I'm not anticipating it. If it turns out that it's good, that means I have 2 really good movies in July that I'm expecting, because I'm already expecting Fantastic Four to meet the measure. I don't know about Superman. So like I said, for me, the month of July 2025 is all about Fantastic Four. And if Superman is good and I make a connection with it, that's a bonus. But right now I'm in the middle when it comes to Superman. No real thoughts on it at all, to be honest with you.
We just kind of pretty much said all of that verbatim too on the Vaca stream, because everybody there was the top. One of the big topics of the evening was that whole like graphic of like July has Jurassic World, Superman, and Fantastic Four.
We covered last night too, by the way.
Yeah, well, I was kind of I came a little bit late because these last 2 weeks between training and coaching and writing and other stuff, work related and root canals, it just kicked my ass. So it's like I came home and I slept sleep of the dead until I woke up like about like half an hour into the stream. So which is why I'm really grateful it's just a 4-day weekend I got, because it's like I need it like nobody's business right now.
Yes, Aaron, we will be watching
Yeah,
episode 3.
third episode of it. So yeah, there's a lot. Tomorrow is very Terminator focused. It's the first 2 movies and the 3rd episode of Terminator Zero. Yeah, it's going to be, as William said, a lot of stream with us, which again, it's like makes it very serendipitous that it's a 4-day weekend. Well, for me, but even if it's for most people, it should be a 3-day weekend at least.
They're all Mondays.
Yeah. Let's see. Vincent. So I accused a ghost of cheating in Baldur's Gate 3, and I got turned to a block of cheese. Okay. Awesome. Music Man says I'm looking forward to that interview.
What?
I think the one you were talking about.
Yeah, as soon as that, let me check my email because she's on 2 different time zones. So
By the way, did you
following up with these people in London?
Did you want to talk about my article tonight, or do you want to save that for the Saturday show?
No, we can talk about it tonight.
Okay,
this is gonna be a quick show, so it's up to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, because I don't want to eat up too much of the yeah. Let's go ahead and bring it up, because this kind of this went somewhat viral for me. So I'm actually surprised William didn't like put it in the. That's why I asked, did you want to talk about it? Because the previous one I did that was related to this, he put it in the topics and said, okay, we're talking about this now. And so this is in very much in the vein of that. And I said, okay, you want to talk about this too? I said, yeah, let's do it. So, all right, here we go. Well, first I'm going to show you from where I put it on my Twitter. Here, just bear with me, guys. Yes, as you can no doubt surmise, this is Snyderverse related. As the one previously that William made a topic on the show is related to the whole Snyderverse Netflix idea that I had some commentary on with related to WB's financial situation and like multiple factors saying, actually maybe now this is actually starting to look like not just a good idea, but maybe the one they should really give some thought to. And this one I've really had, the title is, I did this on Fortress of Solitude. The title is Why Zack Snyder Fans Can't Move On from the Snyderverse and Shouldn't Be Asked to. And I'd had this kind of in my head for quite a while now, because there's this ongoing debate about whether or not fans should like continue pursuing completing Zack's arc, or trying to get that either Warner Brothers or some other studio to give him the green light to do that, or whether we should keep pursuing that, or whether people should move on. There's this just constant online debate that often gets pretty heated about that. And I've had this really kind of in my head for a while. And I've even like here and there, like kind of gone back and forth with people on social media where I've had like comments in different aspects of this for a while. And I really wanted to put this in like a hard digestible form for a while. So I really wanted to I thought like an article would be, a feature would be a really good way to do it. So I went ahead and wrote this up, went live about 2 days ago, and let me go and pull it up, the article itself. And the response has been, man, this one I think went even further than the previous one I did. And yeah, Williams asked is like, have I gotten trolled? The thing is, I was really expecting to get a lot more trolled on this and the last one than I did, but it's been about 98%.
Put it up on the screen, or did you just?
Yeah, I pulled down my Twitter. I'm pulling up the article itself now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you. I'm about to say there's nothing on there.
Yeah, I'm pulling the article itself up right now. So from the main site. So yeah, I was really expecting to get a lot more troll and a lot more backlash on it than I did, but it's been about 98%. People are like really. I mean, this one and the previous one, I've woken up. I've woken up and pulled up my phone to getting DMs and getting tags saying like, "Oh, Brad, thank you for saying this. This is what." You really hit the nail on the head here, which that's always very gratifying to see. So I definitely appreciate everybody who's been very, very complimentary and very, very commendatory on this, especially it's considering when I said I'm going through getting some root canals done right now, and I'm the biggest wuss in the world when you're ever going to meet when it comes to going to the dentist. So the positive feedback is very much appreciated right now. And yeah, as I said, I've had a lot of these thoughts in my head for quite a while, and I really wanted to like put this in like one kind of solid block where I could, really just kind of point out, say, hey, here's kind of my take on this, and where I'm kind of come from on this, and why I think is the X, Y, and Z of this whole topic, and that I have that with my constantly whenever I on not just this but on a variety of things where it's it'll be just kind of be stored in my head, and I mean writers generally do, where it'll be floating around in my head, and it's like, okay, I got to get this put out there and like really get it off my chest. And I finally went ahead and did that with this. But yeah, as you can see, the title is Why Zack Snyder Fans Can't Move On from the Snyderverse and Shouldn't Be Asked to. And now I'm not going to read you word for word the article, but I'm just going to take everybody through the bullet points. And a lot of this is like stuff William and I have said on here before, but I really wanted to sort of what I really wanted to do with this, and the angle I'm taking from this is that a big part of why the fandom has not collectively moved on, and why the push for this still continues so much, is the Snyder Cut and the Snyderverse, I think, are really unique in the sense that because of the nature of like how it all happened and like how it was all publicly revealed, there's much more of a paper trail on this than I think a lot of these things tend to have. So much has come out about what happened behind the scenes and what the fandom had to do to get the movie released, and the before and the after that it's left so much of a trail that you could trace it back to, really, as I say here in the first subheading of the kind of the fork in the road they had with the very divisive response to BVS, and they made basically every bad decision they could have made after that, in terms of, again, reworking Suicide Squad, reworking Justice League, bringing in Joss Whedon, letting him treat the cast like garbage, and lying about the whole thing. And I do use that word very not in this piece, but I don't think there's I don't think there you can categorize what Warner Brothers, how they handled the situation, as anything but outright lying in terms of what they said about Joss's, what he was doing to quote unquote finish the movie, and then we find out what it really was, and all the behind the scenes stuff. I mean, the studio, the leadership was outright lying to the fandom and the world for several years during this point. So ground zero of really a lot of, again, when I say why not only the fandom can't move on, but I don't think should be asked to, it goes back to this, where it's like you had a movie that had a split reception, but it did very well financially. So, and then add in the fact that Zack's plan was a finite plan that had a built-in ending. So you can either at that point, okay, we're going to finish this up, what he's doing, plan our reboot behind the scenes, and then launch that after the fact, or you do what they did and you throw the whole thing into disarray, which that's what happened. And so that's the kind of the aftermath of BVS. Then in this section, I of course go into like all the behind the scenes controversy with Joss Whedon mistreating the cast and crew, and that's the kind of the cover up that went on there, and everything, the nature of Zack's departure being not what it was presented as, and of course tying in the family tragedy of that. And of course that's all. I mean, we if you followed the story, you definitely are very familiar with all that. And of course, even if you haven't, you probably have heard at least one or two nuggets of it. But so there's that element of it. Then at this point in this section, I get into, we finally got the thing greenlit, and it was coming. And not only that, but also under AT&T's leadership, they were really pushing heavily the concept of the multiverse within DC on film and on television, as a way that I can remember the temperature of being a DC fan at that time, when the first DC fandom happened, when Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, when the Snyder Cut was coming. I mean, it was fun. It was a blast being a DC fan during that period, and during COVID, no less, where I mean, it felt like, okay, the Snyder Cut, I mean, that's just the tip. I mean, we're just getting like, that's just like we're getting that, but also it's like the possibilities that we're going to come out of this now. It's like not only could we potentially get the rest of Zack's story finished, but also it's being done it could happen in a way that all this stuff can coexist. Every corner of being a DC fan can really be catered to in a way that doesn't step on the toes of any other, which is what William, I know, has been beating that drum for a really long time. And, we definitely both have here on the channel for a long time. And it's something, we feel they've really squandered, as Warner Brothers owning DC as their biggest IP. But so the movie's coming. it all seems right in the universe with DC fans with that and the multiverse coming, and then that's when we start getting the no, it's a cul-de-sac. No, it's we're not doing any more 4 days after the movie comes out. We have the 1.5 million tweet day right after the movie comes out saying, yes, give us more of that, please. They ignore that. And so there's that too. They first they're covering up the movie, and then they're making quite transparent attempts to try to kill it before, during, and after its release. So there's that side of it. Then of course, right here, the next element I go into is Henry Cavill. As kind of a corollary to the Snyder Cut push, the fandom really pushing to get him back as Superman, and we briefly had that with his return to Black Adam. Then 2 months, then James Gunn, Peter Safran appointed DC studio head. 2 months later, they say, nope, not happening. And we're effectively getting the news out of that. The DC universe that's going to be launched under their tenure at DC Studios is going to be effectively a reboot, with retaining some elements of what came before, i.e. Peacemaker and the Waller series and what have you. And of course, that's just another just punch in the gut for the fandom that's coming after half a decade of at this point of us just being yo-yoed around. As I've always said that their Warner Brothers business model these past few years when it comes to DC is very much amounted to one hand giveth and the other taketh away. So you add that into this, and then this is something else I really wanted to kind of put in there for a while too, is the James Gunn side of it, which is when you add, talking about like him within this conversation, James Gunn himself isn't necessarily a big issue, but one thing I'm sure a lot of Zack Snyder fans have really noticed is that there is a very marked contrast in how the two of them are covered in the media. I mean, Zack, of course, he's been called every name in the book. He's been demonized. He's been just really just run through the ringer, either through just general detractors of his work or people acting, I think probably would people surmise, in bad faith. And then on the flip side of that, James Gunn, it's, he's very much a media darling through the reception of the Guardians franchise. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that in and of itself, but then adding in, when he got fired from Guardians 3 over, the past, Twitter jokes that were, kind of a off color, let's say, and his fandom and the Guardians cast really rallied to get him the gig back. They got him the gig back, and the angle the media took and so much of the coverage there was very much the opposite. They were very much cheerleading that, and as opposed to just the sneering and the mockery and the I would go as far as to say carrying water for Warner Brothers. A lot of corners of the media really filled that role in terms of insisting the movie didn't exist. So there's this other angle to it, when you add James Gunn's tenure both with Guardians 3 and the whole DC Studios thing, where it's like, okay, wait a minute, this guy is like, he had his fandom rally behind him when he got screwed over, and he's the media's like just really behind that, and on our side, it's like we have to fight this uphill battle to get this movie released, and we're just the press is very much in a large extent complicit with Warner Brothers' mantra of this doesn't exist, this is not going to be released, et cetera, et cetera. And so that fuels a lot of that, from my analysis of it. And then you add in, now he's at DC Studios again. That's again driven, I think, a lot by the acclaim he's gotten through the Guardians franchise. Is that he's shutting down what Snyder fans were really into, what they wanted to see finished, and were just expected to just kind of just grin and bear it. And again, a lot of corners of the media have really been in his corner on that. Which again, that's like it. James Gunn himself is not necessarily the villain or the problem or the bad guy or doing anything nefarious and all of that, but it's just you add this night and day contrast to how they are both portrayed in the media. That's something else that really sort of tacks on to this paper trail I was talking about that begins with BVS and gets to where we are now with the DCU and his Superman movie. And so then I kind of wrap it up here with and a lot of it was really the impetus of the angle I wanted to take on this was I'm not just writing this to just to get Snyder fans to just pat me on the back. I mean, I'm legitimately asking normies, Gunn fans, other people in the media who again I've maybe bumped shoulders with and who are maybe not the biggest fans of what Zach did or of his fandom. I'm just, in a lot of ways, I'm asking, look at this from our perspective. I mean, it's like this is like going back to, you trace it back to BVS and all the sequence of events, from the behind the scenes abuse stories, cover ups, the movie getting torn apart while Zach's mourning his daughter, the fight that fans had to fight to get the movie out, the stonewalling from the studio, Henry Cavill's comeback being the rug being pulled out from under him on that, and just the yin and yang media coverage between Zack and James Gunn. Again, as the heading says, who wouldn't be pissed off if you're a Zack Snyder fan at this point? So yeah, that's and then it's kind of wrap it up by saying it's like, until there's more of like a discussion and understanding about this is going to continue in my analysis to loom over Warner Brothers and DC for the foreseeable future. So yeah, that's kind of the
I wonder who's in Little Movie Perps chat hating on me. Let me go find out who the fuck this was.
So yeah, that's the kind of the rundown of the article, the feature I had to go live on Fortress of Solitude the other day, saying, again, I've had a lot of this percolating in my head for a while, and I've really kind of managed to finally just sort of streamline it and get it all written down, finally put it out there for the world to see. And the response has been a lot of people have been saying, it's like, thank you. You're saying what a lot of people are thinking, which, I mean, not to sound egotistical about that, but I mean, it's like, I feel like I have my finger on the pulse of the fandom enough where I could say, it's like, yeah, that's why I took this angle. Was like, you point to this and this and this. This is why people, A, are mad so much about how things went down. B, are not letting go of wanting to see this, finished, resolved, concluded, sold, restored, whatever term you want to use. And C, why this will, as from my analysis, my opinion, continue to remain a problem for them until they find some way to tackle this. So that's the feature I had go live that went pretty crazy. So everybody,
hey, which stream? Hey, Vince, what stream is this? I can control this guy. Well, it had to have been. Yeah, fun. Well, I'll look at it when I get home. Let's see. I'm just looking.
Yeah, if you guys have any thoughts on that, I just love hearing back from people on because again, it was really this one and the previous one that were on this topic were those were really cool to wake up to, because I did it, before I even like shared it myself. They just gone live on Fortress of Solitude, which is one of the outlets I've been contributing to this year.
Yeah,
and
I'm surprised you didn't get, like I said, because it's just that's why I except for your last article, I probably just pretty much steered away from it because I just don't have the energy to verbally slap the shit out of people anymore.
I was really expecting a lot more pushback on this than I got.
So was I. When I looked at it, I'm like, ah, shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not afraid of getting trolled. I mean, it's like it's just people shout shit at you on the internet. I mean, what are they gonna do? They're gonna jump through the computer and attack me. So, that was. But it's been, again, the response has been largely people are saying yeah, you've said what a lot of the fandom is feeling. So that's always really gratifying to hear. But I'm just kind of curious in everybody's thoughts on just kind of what I laid out there. Is where does everybody, where do you stand on that? Or like, William, do you think I did a good job breaking that down? Like, well, what's everybody's what are your thoughts on that, everybody?
I mean, I thought it was. I mean, I've lived it, so it's really a different opinion that I'm going to have because I've lived it, and not to knock anybody's article. It's just like, it's like the thought process now. Just knowing where we are, it's like we're, to me, I need to find an avenue of movement to make it worth it. Otherwise, it's like, it's almost like James Gunn Superman. It's all one thing for me. And I was trying to explain that on Film Junkie Night. It's all one thing for me. I just am not. They've turned me off from their motion content right now. It's just, and I know the people can tell me, the right way to feel and all that stuff. But as a customer, you never tell your customer how to feel, because that's
that's another. That was part of the impetus why I wrote this too. Is because it's something, I've seen, also within the fandom, and we, again, without naming any names, there have been, people who are, who have somewhat of a, leg up or notoriety within the fandom or within the community, or whatever term you want to use, who have very much not only taken the position of like, fans should move on, but of like getting actively angry at people for not doing that. And part of why I came at it from this angle is it's kind of a diplomatic way of, me saying, it's like, all of respect, but who the hell are you to tell people what they should move on from or what they should continue chasing after?
Yeah,
if they're
those
not
people
hurting you?
I already told to go fuck themselves. But for me, okay, so for me personally, it's like I'm in the trenches. I'm with you in the trenches, but unless I have a way across no man's land, I don't know how much long. What am I fighting for? You see what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like I need a target. I need a target. I need a means to an end. Otherwise, I'm just screaming from the trenches. And where I understand where you're coming from, 100%, it's gotten to the point where it's like I need an avenue to. The next time we bring this up, or any of us bring this up collectively, we need to have a real tangible thing to grab onto and to a real doorway to walk through.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
and I agree.
it just reminds me of just how ugly this all was. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and I agree. The fandom has, has definitely had difficulty articulating in like a concrete form when they say, it's like, we want to see the rest of this, but there's so many different perspectives too on like people who how they want to see it done. Like, some people say, it's like, just give us the rest. Like, he has a 5-movie arc, give us the rest of that, we're good. Other people say, no, I want the MCU with Zack Snyder. And other people say, just give it to me in a comic book and I'm good. Others say animation. And there's so many different
We have too many disorganized voices. That's the thing.
yeah. There's so much there, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, like having different perspectives on like how it could happen or how it should happen or how ways it's feasible or ways it's, ways to make the best business pitch. But I think also that's created, in some ways, it's created friction. So it's
made us it's made us easy to dismiss. I'll tell you what it does. The hashtags, the different, I need this and that, I need the backflip, I need all this. It's made us easy to tune us out before the conversation begins. And really, I personally, when I put the Snyderverse on the ban list, the reason I did it is because I think, in my opinion, the conversation at this point, without a target, without something to hold on to, is now doing damage. I don't think it's doing the cause good because we've become white noise. And we don't have a target. We don't have a specific path. Every time you hear somebody say restore the Snyderverse or bring back the Snyderverse, they don't have their conversation. They come to the ball game without a ball or a glove. There's no realistic, okay, let's do it this way, cost and effect. Here's how you could do it. Here's how it works. You never hear those conversations. And when you have so many people going so many directions and no real definitive way to get it done or to someone to talk to, it becomes white noise. It literally becomes like when somebody's alarm or car alarm is going off and it's going off for so long, you just don't hear it anymore. That's what the people who we would ever need to make this happen, that's what we've become to those people. And we really need to pick our targets. The next time the Snyderverse comes up, it needs to be that can get us here. That can get us here. Because me wanting something, I want some platinum bars to come flying through this window right now. It's me wanting something. I need a strategy to get it. If you do not have a strategy to get what you want, talking about it just exasperates things. And where I'm at with the whole Snyderverse thing is I'm at exhaustion. Not that I never want to see it resolved again. I just want to wait until I see the opportunity, the most real opportunity we can have.
When it sounds like also like that's kind of where like the whole idea of like the next merger that we think the writing is on the wall for. It's like would you say that's like the best like vector for like the fandom to like say, okay, this is a potential.
I don't want to hear from them. Here's the thing. I know people are going to hate me from this. I don't want to hear from the fandom anymore. The fandom has shown, all of us collectively, that we can't talk, we can't do business. You want business to be done, but we lack the tools or the desire to talk business. Hashtags are bullshit. I'm sorry. They don't work. Not at this point in the game. All right. Reposting and getting in people's mentions and shit doesn't work. We've been doing this for a long time. Our particular fan base has not displayed the tools necessary to continue this conversation anymore. So I don't want to hear from the fandom when it comes to this. You have a desire. The fandoms have a desire, but they don't have a discussion. You know, and it becomes exhausting even for somebody who's in support of this. But if you don't have the tools to have the proper conversation, you're basically speaking a different language. It's like somebody who, you know, who's speaking Greek coming into somebody who only speaks Spanish. You think the conversation is going anywhere? Not very far. So right now, the fandom doesn't need to do anything but wait for somebody to come up with an opportunity and a pathway and then back it. But blindly wishing for something is not business. That's just blindly wishing for something. And that's where this fandom has driven me crazy, is because if you have a weapon and you have a limited amount of bullets in it, ammo, you just don't go shooting in the dark. All right, if you got 9 bullets, you got 9 targets, and that's what you need to hit. Right now, we have no target. We have no means for this to happen. And even a merger is a hope, and that's probably your best opportunity. But a merger is a hope that something happens. Even once a merger happens, there's no immediate pathway to this. You know, and like I said, and even if there was, we don't have the people in the fandom right now that can have that conversation. Our conversation just immediately, just 2, 3, 10 seconds into it, you're already ready to throw the person out of the office. So I think if this is going to get forward, first of all, it's got to be the right people talking to the right people. It is probably in our benefit that the studios just blank out at this point, fandom, because they're not talking business. They're talking wants and they're talking desire. And that's okay for a customer if you want to stay a customer. But if you're going to try to be part of a movement and push something forward, you got to have something to push forward. You got to have a means to an end. Otherwise, we become those people. As soon as they hear those keywords, they just tune us out. And you never want that in any type of movement. You want, when you speak, for it to mean something. That's why I cannot fucking stand hashtags when it comes to this. When you're ready to talk, when you have something to talk about and a tool to use, then you use it. But using these other methods is just a big, broad turnoff. And it's a turnoff that an outsider is going to see like, ooh, wow, that's a whole lot of tangled whatever over there. I'm going to go around that. You don't want that. You want to create something that people can engage. Right now, there's just nothing. I'm not saying there won't be, but these all these things that we use are not going to work. You got to wait for the opportunity and then be ready when the right people get into the right position to be able to have a conversation that, you know, is business. Why am I doing it? Like the air cut. I've never seen a more empty conversation than the air cut. And that's not a knock against David Ayer. I love his stuff. That's not a knock against those fans. But there's no business reason to ever do that. Yet it keeps getting brought up. There's no business pathway for this to happen. Yet air cut, hashtag air cut, more white noise. Like I said, we've become the drunk uncle. I just don't want to become that guy because nobody listens to the drunk uncle. Once he comes in and starts stumbling over himself, everybody's like, "Ooh, here he goes again. Let's go into the other room while he throws up in this one." You know, and I think that's what the Snyder fandom has become. And I love you all, but damn, it's like, what's our strategy? What's your business plan? When you get a reverse question, and when the person you're asking, why do I do this? Where am I going to make money of it? Where is it not going to cost me? How is this sustainable? Those things never come up. So yeah, it's I'm sort of done with it to the point where I'm probing. I'm waiting for I'm peeking around the corner, waiting for the right opportunity and for the right movement. We just don't have it right now, and we're not even close to having it. And it's, you know, but you'll know when it's time. Like you said, Musgrave, we may have a major merger. We have somebody. As soon as you start hearing the keywords and start hearing key people that do key things, then you can start putting that together and putting some feelers out. Well, you got to wait till you get those people in place. You got to wait to see who's open-minded. You got to wait to see what their history is, because just somebody coming in and saying, "Oh, I love this, I love that," and then they end up like a Zaslav and they don't do shit. You want to make sure that we're not talking to that type of person. You want to somebody who's open to DC. Like if you had a Scott Snyder take over all of these, or Scott Snyder type, now you start having conversation because that guy has a history of doing what you need. The current climate, we don't have anybody in there right now who either wants to listen or
Do you think to kind of off that actually? It's like now I'm not saying that you mentioned Scott Snyder. It's like, and you've made the comparison a lot because of a lot of stuff he's doing comic wise now. Do you and the reason I bring this up is because Jim Lee is like he's sort of straddled that fence a little bit between like sort of being like a diplomat or a mediator between both the comic side and the film and TV side. Do you foresee either Scott Snyder himself or someone of his ilk potentially entering the fray as far as management of DC within Warner Brothers?
No, because he's not a studio head. He's not a studio head. He's not a movie maker. He can advise them, but he's not the guy that you would want to be able to do this. Like if Scott Snyder could, somebody of that ilk that is on the same rapport. If you see him having the conversations with some of these guys, and you're like, okay, you start hearing him refer to these guys, and you're like, okay, now we have something somewhere. But whoever does it is going to be, because, like I said, running comic books. Running DC and publishing DC is not movie making.
Well,
Jeff
we
learned
that
with Jeff Johns. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the name that just popped up into my head.
Well, the reason because I just mentioned because you had mentioned him as a hypothetical, but I mean, it's like I'm not saying that like he's going to be the new DC Studios president, but I mean, obviously, like another example, probably people would cite. I mean, he's from prior, the prior regime was Jason Kylar, definitely kind of fit into everything William's describing there as far as his perception of like how to fully exploit the potential of of what IPs the studios own, whether it's DC, whether it's Harry Potter, whether it's Dune, whether or what have you, and of course he's also very much he's in the age range William has said is probably
it's going to have to be somebody.
And he's also definitely very much on the as far as streaming as a big revenue driver. He's definitely very much of that persuasion as well.
And they're not of the old tech kit. There's this whole one universe that's coming from people who don't know. Like I said, that's some stupid mid 2000s thinking that really wasn't good then. I think somebody who's in there. I just, like I said, Generation Xer or a millennial is going to be the one that is going to turn these companies, especially Warner Brothers, around. What do I think about buying down some? I thought it was great. I love that match. We went over this last week. I was surprised that it's hard to surprise me as a wrestling fan. It's because I've seen a lot of it. So I was really refreshing to see that. And like I said, he's got a match coming up against who the fuck is he? Jack Perry. So that'll be fun. I don't think he's going to lose to Jack Perry, but I think Jack Perry, they're finally getting their money's worth out of Jack Perry after he pretty much cost him a lot of money with the whole CM Punk thing. So.
Well, as we all know, I mean, there's still, no matter what Williams says, there is still one hashtag that always gets the job done. And that's, of course, this one. Okay.
I'm going to cover the Godot brothers being killed 30 and 31 years old today in a bike accident on a drunk driver in New Jersey. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. And actually, William, Aaron has one here. I'm going to hashtag self-with-awareness, and sometimes also helps uncancel TV show. And Aaron, I'm pretty sure you're getting at the right now the push to renew the Acolyte, which I'm kind of wondering your thoughts on that, William.
All right. This is good that you brought this up. You have a target. You have something to aim at. You have a clear path of awareness. With the Acolyte, it's easy. It's simple. You're not walking into somebody's office with all this Restore the Snyderverse baggage, and it's a real big fucking bag. This is compact. It's simple. The show just went off the air. Right, and not only that, the timing is right. We're not 7-8 years into all this. The timing is right. So the awareness and the tolerance for the awareness, it hasn't been worn down. So, like I said, the hashtag itself wouldn't mean shit if you didn't have the people you need to talk to. The timing is right. Everything has to be right, or the hashtag is worthless. Right now, the Restore the Snyderverse hashtag, I'm sorry to say, it's worthless. I mean, hashtags in general, like I said, most times hashtags are in the abstract, but here you're not just you're attaching something that is literally trending as we speak. That's a different case than what we're doing with the Snyder stuff.
Well, what do you think with the Acolyte one? I mean, this is. I mean,
I think
what kind of odds would you give to them on that?
I don't know. I'd have to see. Right now, it's only at like 56 or 75,000. You would need a lot more for them to even. What needs to happen is on all different platforms, people need to they jump in and leave a comment and be respectful and be nice, or be professional. Hey, I really enjoyed that. I know that a lot of loud people were watching, and what you also have to do with the Acolyte, because if they're basing it on ratings decline, what you need to make these fucking absolute morons understand is that if it's on streaming, I have the luxury of watching it over a period of time. Just because I don't watch it at 12 midnight doesn't mean I ain't gonna watch it. There's a lot of shit that I got to get around to. Does that mean I want to cancel? Just because if an episode pops at on a particular day and I'm busy, I work or I got things going, and I may not be able, because it's not going anywhere. I'm paying you monthly for it to be there. It may be some time before I watch it. Why don't we give a little bit more time so that we can see where these things settle out? Since it's not network TV in the old days where you didn't have DVR, even now, Nielsen and everything else has adjusted their technology to figure out when people are DVRing things. Because guess what? When you DVR something, you intend to watch it. So if I didn't watch episode 5 of The Acolyte until I had time, watching all these other streaming channels, maybe I'm on your network, on your streamer, maybe give it a little bit of time before you come out and make a decision about that. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, it did seem pretty hasty to me. The way
a great many people I know will not watch any of these shows until they are done, because they do that fucking binge watching stuff, which is their prerogative. But that's also something you have to keep into account. So I would say, yeah, now is the time to make your voice known about that, but also explain to people, if you're one of these people who like Acolyte and didn't get a chance to get back to it immediately because you didn't think it was an emergency, then let them know. I still love the show, but you'll have to do it in numbers that make it financially feasible. Like I said, math is undefeated. You have to show them the math is there, because like I said, and the problem I have with the Acolytes, if it were just the people watching it and not liking it, that'd be different. But when the show is being announced and the actors being announced, and the hoodlums start the bullshit months and months in advance, I get that. The same thing like most of the people when it came to BBS. Yeah, you had some people who didn't like this and didn't like that, but a good significant number of those people were full of bullshit. Because while we were promoting the movie and getting our dates and nobody had seen the damn movie, I had people telling me it was dog shit. I'm like, well, fuck. Do I need to jump in your head to see the movie and saving myself money since you've already seen it? See, we have these trends and these people who start this momentum in a bad way. So yeah, if you watch something you don't like it, and after you watch it you say it, that's fine. But if you're laying in wait for something, and to be honest with you, it wasn't a perfect show. But I came to that conclusion after watching the show. I wasn't sitting around 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in advance taking aim at something that if you weren't going to watch it, just don't watch it. And it's quite sad. I mean, I am a Star Wars fan, but some of my fellow Star Wars fans embarrass us with their decorum. They embarrass us with their conduct. If you don't like something and you've watched it, and that's fine. But like I said, let's not be full of shit and not recognize that this was going on before the Acolyte even hit the air. And that's just what we have these days.
That's unfortunate.
Part of a conversation. That's all it is. So, all right, I'm about to wrap this up because like I said, I planned for this to be very short.
Well, one thing I did want to ask Vince real quick, because he talked about Little Movie Perp, because he's talking about the feature I wrote on his and yeah, I'm trying to pull it up and see if it's there. But apparently there's somebody in the chat that was really trash talking us or something.
Yeah. We'll keep it offline. Just send it to me so I can laugh.
Yeah,
I made it on somebody else's stream.
No, and listen. The thing about it is, like, when I say it's like I was expecting a March roll for that for those 2 articles that I have, and I'm going to keep writing on this topic as long as I've got an angle and thoughts in my head to cover, and any editor who will approve it. But but I'm not scared of trolls. I mean,
I'm not
so-
scared of trolls either. I just don't want to waste my energy. I have
Yeah,
better
yeah.
things to do with my time.
And
To go back and forth
well,
with some clown on the
the
internet.
thing about it is it's like I more often than not, it's like because I when I have gotten trolled, it's like more often than not, it's like I actually kind of laugh at it because so yeah, just the energy that gets put into how creative some of these guys can get, like how much they want to just vilify you for saying something they don't like. It's honestly, it's like, I just kind of find humor in that more than anything else. So yeah. I'm
All
trying
right,
to think,
guys,
like,
that's where we're gonna wrap it up
yeah,
because I got to be back here in 13
yeah.
hours too.
Yeah, for some Terminator action. I cannot wait.
All right, let me fly my outro. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, wherever, guys. We'll be back.